There are probably 100,000 different sports cards that you could buy right now. I buy around 4. That's it. And the majority of people in this industry and your own logic will tell you that in order to make more money, you need to buy more cards. More players, more sports, more of the stuff that's on the way up. Personally, I think that's why so many people lose money in this industry. The way I've built Rookie Heat AU to make money is do the complete opposite. I ignore about 90% of the sports card market on purpose. And I only ever buy the stuff that gets through one filter. I'm going to show you this entire filter in this video. And by the end of it, you're going to be able to look at any card and tell me within 5 seconds if I'd buy it or not. That's how specific this is. And at the end, I'm even going to show you a card that I was offered and I genuinely wanted but said no to. Because that pass and that discipline is this filter doing its job. So here's the exact filter, all 4 cuts, that takes those 100,000 options and all of that overwhelm into a lane that you can actually win in. And cut number 3 is the one that almost everybody gets wrong. And it's the reason that people think that this is way more restrictive than it actually is. And when we look at this, it's so easy to see why so many people feel overwhelmed, feel confused, feel frustrated, feel out of their depth when they get into the sport card industry. They have this emotion and this desire to get into it, but then it's kind of like, where the hell do I start? What the hell do I do? And what the hell do I focus on? Because look at all of these sports, and it's not all of them. We've got NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, WNBA, football, F1, MMA, WWE, AFL, NRL, and more out there. And you're like, okay, well, if my logic tells me that I need to buy more and make more, where do I start? But in reality, it's by going a mile deep and an inch wide, and not a mile wide and an inch deep, that we start to see success. And nobody ever handed you a filter or a model like this before. So you've got this love for cards and you buy a little bit of things that you see, things that people have told you are valuable, and that's not a mistake that's inside of you or a mistake that you've made. It's just what happens when nobody's shown you the model before, and that's not your fault, but it's what I'm going to dive into now. So this is the top of my filter. It's the whole market. These are all of those sports that we touched on a minute ago. This is what makes things overwhelming and confusing. And this is where most people spend their time, their attention, their energy, and where they shop. But watch what happens when I make the first cut. I only buy the sports that I know, love, and understand. The ones that I'm deep in, the ones that I'm watching every day. I know who the players are, I know who the teams are, I know who the coaches are. I'm consuming the content and the narratives around teams and players. That's all that gets my attention. And this isn't because the other sports are bad or I don't enjoy them. They're just not what I love. Because our edge in sports cards comes from knowing the sport tremendously well. And I don't know NFL, soccer, F1, or any of those sports tremendously well. You might, and that's okay. They're the ones that you should pick. Because when you make this first cut, this what sport or sports am I going to focus on, it shrinks so much for you. And you can take a breath and a sigh of relief and go, oh, okay, is this all that there is? Now, the second cut that I make in this filter is even bigger than this first one. Rookie cards only. And the reason for this is that when you look at the market cap of all of the players, their rookie cards have the biggest market cap. And it makes sense because if we have a player that's been in the league for 15 years, which card is the market going to value the most? It's going to be the first. Yeah, it's going to be their rookie card. Yes, there's going to be some other cards that haven't hold value if they won a championship that year, if they won an award that year, or if there's some other sentiment around something that happened in that specific year where they go, oh, I really want a card from that year. Otherwise, it's a rookie card. So that's why rookie cards were the one that I chose when I made this cut. And what happens here is that this is where so much of the noise dies and I can really focus on the signal because I'm not worried about or concerned with players' second year cards or third year cards or fourth year cards. Like I only want rookie cards. That's it. I only want a player's rookie cards. It makes decision making so much easier. Now cut 3 is where so many people go wrong. And this is where there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconception around what I mean by rookie cards. And I get a lot of questions about this because cut 3 is the player pool. So we're not just focused on the rookies that are coming in with each new year. We are looking at any player but just their rookie cards. So we're looking at the rookies for this year. We're looking at second year players looking to take that sophomore jump. We're looking at the current superstar players that are on all-star level, the current elite guys that are already established and have their legacy built. And then even the guys that are in the Hall of Fame and aren't active anymore, we're looking at their rookie cards. That's it. So all players in the MLB and the NBA, but we're only looking at a small segment of their card market, just their rookie cards. So you can see here how we have started to really filter down and focus on just 2 sports, just one type of card design, and now specific players from those sports. Because here, when I'm looking at the player pool, this is where the different archetypes of players come in, because it's not every player, because not every player has demand. So we have our prospects, we have our breakouts, we have our superstars, we have our elites, and we have our Hall of Fame guys. Because there's so many players available and so many different cards available, but of those players, there's only some who have market demand, which means that if we have the supply for that demand, if we have those cards, people will purchase them from us. It's the reason that we may not want a Darren Holmes' second card, even though it might be an out of 5 or an out of 10. Yeah, it's a good card, but it's not an in-demand player. So this is where these player pools become really important. Okay? And because of this player pool, it's why this is way less restrictive than it might actually sound. Because again, it's not just about this year's rookie class or next year's rookie class. It's about the entire market of players, past and present, but we're only looking at their rookie cards. Okay? And cut 4 is about the price. So when we look at the sports card industry, there's different games that we can play. There's buying singles, there's buying raw to grading, there's buying into breaks and buying into repacks, and then there's ripping packs. Okay? And inside of each of those games, there's different levels as well. There's the real low tier, there's mid tier, there's high tier, and then there's premium. So I've cut this down by finding that our sweet spot is selling cards in the $15 to $200 range. They are the cards that have proven to be the most profitable, and that is the price range that people feel comfortable buying in at, so they have the fastest velocity for us as well. These have been the most liquid, the fastest to sell. That doesn't mean that we don't also buy cards outside of that range, but this is where 80% of our time goes into. This is where if a card meets all these filters and it's in this price range, the data looks good, yeah, decision made, this is a buy. However, if it's above that, that's where a little bit more justification needs to come in. Is this something that I see going up in the long term, or do I have a short-term exit around it? This price is just how can I shrink it down to make the decision so much easier. Because the thing about playing at a higher level is that yes, there might be more attention on the card and there might be more demand on the card, but those two things don't actually equal selling the card, because when you get to those higher tiers, the buyer pool actually shrinks. The market for it shrinks because there's more risk involved, there's more skin in the game involved. So those cards tend to sit a lot longer. So that's why it's more of a justified and a more considered purchase than something that's in this range where it's like, hey, we have so much experience and so much evidence that these cards move really well for us. So what all of this results in is one lane. Rookie cards only of NBA and MLB players, past and present, in a $15 to $200 range. As I said, anything above 200, it's still something that we'll look at if it's a rookie card of an NBA or MLB player that is current or past. But I'm going to do some more thinking about it and not just pull the trigger straight away. So that's the filter. They're the cuts. And as you can see, practically 90% or more has been ignored, which allows me to focus. It allows me to know the game that I'm playing, what the rules are of that game, and what behaviors and actions I can take to best set myself up for success to win, and also knowing the trade-offs that I'm going to have to make in order to have a chance at winning this game. So let me prove that this filter is real to you by showing you a card that I actually wanted but said no to. It was this one. It got offered to me last month. I love Ant, like super liquid, market is so well established. This is an out of 12 from Midnight, mid-tier set. It's just a beautiful card. And I passed on it. And it's not because it's a bad card and it's not because I don't love it. It's because it failed the cut. It's not a rookie card. Like, yes, Ant is one of our best-selling players, but the fact that it's not a rookie, I would love to own it. I would love to have it. I would love to have moved this on because I know that we would have been able to move it, but it's not one of his rookie cards, so I had to say no to it. And one of the biggest reasons is that if I put it up on the shop, people are going to be like, I thought you only did rookie cards. And especially if somebody buys it thinking that it is an RC, and then it gets to them and they go, hang on a sec, this wasn't a rookie card. I don't want to deal with that situation. Like, we specialize in rookie cards, so I'm going to stick to that even if these amazing cards come our way. What I'd prefer to do is say to the person that is offering it, look, this is incredible. I know someone who might like it. I can put you in touch with them, but I'm not the right buyer for you. And that's the whole point. Like, this filter only works if you learn to say no. That saying no doesn't constrict you. It actually expands what it is that you're able to do in your sports card business. Okay, it works because it stops me when I want to say yes, but it goes against the goals that I have. Because anyone can have rules, but the discipline is saying no to the cards that you didn't want to say no to. So here's this whole thing in one line. One lane only. Rookie cards, MLB, NBA players, past or present, in the $15 to $200 range. That's our filter. That's what we focus on. Because of that, everything else I can let and allow be noise because I know where my signals are. And because of that, it makes things so much simpler. It makes decision making so much simpler. But I need you to understand here that it's not that it made them smaller, it made the decisions simpler. I play one game instead of dabbling in all of the available ones for me in the sports card industry. And that's exactly why it works and how we've been able to do close to $40,000 in revenue within 7 months, but still sit at 27% profit margins. So this filter helps make it simpler for you to see what it is that you should be buying. But knowing what to buy is only 1/3 of the game, because we need to understand and analyze the market data and then actually be able to sell and move cards as well. But on top of all of that, you've got to know which cards make you the profit and which ones move fastest for you instead of just sitting there. And that's why I built our dashboard. I can track every card we've bought, every card we've sold, how long it took to sell, how much profit it made us, what tags were on that specific card, and it's going to automatically populate a top 40 list of here were your most profitable cards, here were your fastest cards to sell, so that I can then just look for the pattern of, oh, what did these cards that were most profitable and move the fastest for us have in common, so that I can simplify my decision making again of knowing these are the sorts of card designs that I'm going to buy into, and I'm going to use my market research to look at what players I should be buying into right now. It just simplifies it all because we're not thinking, we're analyzing and looking at our own data that works, and then we're using that to make better choices for ourselves. Okay? So if you're not sure where to start with the dashboard. It is free. It is my gift to you because I want you guys to use this for yourself. The link is in the description. Go there, grab it, start logging your cards, start tracking your sales, seeing your profit margin, seeing what tags, so what sorts of cards sell the best for you and sell the most fastest. But in the next video, I'm going to put this filter over a live card, show you the market research that I did, to show you, is this a play that I want to buy into, and is this the right card design to buy into? So I'll see you there. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'll see you on the next video.